Hey, people of YouTube, it's me, your boy. Okay, I can't do YouTube intros, man. It's such a bullshit. All right, so it's currently Sunday for me, and I was thinking of a video for the next Friday, and I couldn't come up with anything, frankly. So I thought I wanted to do one thing that I have never really done on a video in any way before, and that is rate of the Call of Duty games. And because, you know, because I played Call of Duty for like the longest of all the video games, basically, um, I just wanna kind of like put it out there, put out there what I think. Personally, what I think about the best ones, obviously, but about the worst ones too. So let's see. I've played my first Call of Duty game I've played was the Call of Duty 4, right? The Modern Warfare. So this is it. This is this one. Uh, I don't know why this chart has no in it. Like that's like the F tier, but like I don't know. I don't know what this. I will put an F on it. Uh, I like the never played one. I will put a couple of them there too. But I don't know why this was no. So I'm just gonna put F in it. So alright, well, let's start with the Call of Duty 4 because I remember that not the most necessarily, but I did play it the most probably. So I will put it into an A, I think. I don't think it's S tier. I remember the game too much to put it into an S. But nostalgia and just like I do think the game at the time, right? Like I don't remember what the game was competing with exactly. It was definitely some Battlefield game, right? But I do remember there was so many things about this game that was like nothing even close to what today is. Basically, you had you had the campaign, the single player, which is a trilogy. I will talk about that later. This was a trilogy, right? The Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 before the remake that is happening right now. So the campaign in itself was like, for me, I replayed this one specifically. I replayed so many times because I just really liked it. I just really liked how new it was, because you have to understand that up until this video game, there was no first-person shooters of this scale that did a single-player campaign that was like good. I guess, I don't know when Bad Company came out, Bad Company and then Bad Company 2, right? I don't know when these games came out, but I remember I didn't play them. I guess I just played this one. So I just remember that, that story was, for me, great. I have played it a lot, and I've played the game without internet for a while, before I did get an internet connection eventually. And then I played multiplayer. But the thing about this game was that you didn't have the dedicated servers thing that you have now, and instead people would have to host servers. I think there was probably some console servers from Activision at the time. I'm not sure about that. I think so. But I do remember, me myself personally, I've played cracked version because obviously I didn't pay for the game. And there were the servers like from the community, right? Like there was server browser in the game and everything, and that is like just unheard of today. Like I'm sure a lot of people don't even know what that means anymore. But yeah, that was just like, down the memory lane for me, is that this game represents that kind of culture at the time when that was thing, that was a possibility, and it was the standard, which is, like I said, it's not today. So um, but I'm not rating the multiplayer aspect, I'm rating the single player. That's, maybe I should have mentioned that at the start probably, but I'm rating the single player experience of this game. So for the single player experience, I would have to say that this game was definitely well, it was my first experience, and I do think that it was that was hooked me. That's what made me like this franchise, like Call of Duty as it is. So so that's my first rating of of all the Call of Duties. Is Call of Duty 4 is A for me. It's solid A. Yeah, I wouldn't put it in S. There is better out there than this, but yeah. Okay, so let's move on. I don't know. I don't know if I should necessarily go through the entire trilogy. I could do that. I'm thinking. Okay, so let's go down for it. I remember playing Call of Duty 1, and I will put it into probably a C tier, which probably will just really upset people. I don't know if it will, probably. But I remember playing it, and not when it came out, but I probably played it after I played Call of Duty 4 at some point. And all I remember about this video game is that it was the easiest because it was the smallest, smallest video game, like by size. It was the easiest one to play in class, I remember that. So we had it on computers, and it was also easy to play local multiplayer with this game, and that's all I remember about it. I know I played the campaign at some point, but the only good thing I have to say about this is the multiplayer aspect was just easy. It wasn't even that good. It was just easy to do, like a fucking Unreal Engine, dude. So, or Unreal Tournament, I mean. Yeah, for me this didn't, I know it's the first in the franchise and you gotta like it, but I really don't have to see this one again. So for me a C. I wouldn't put it in the F. I don't want to put it in the F. I don't think it's a shit game or something like that, but yeah. So that 2 I didn't play, 3 I didn't play. I don't, either 2 or 3 are like only console games. I don't know which one of them, but I know one of these two are like console only. So I know I didn't play either, so I'm just saying that, but I don't know. One of them didn't even, get a chance to play it. Okay, let's just go down the list from here. World at War, I will definitely put it next to Call of Duty 4. I have to. And I think there will be like Modern Warfare 2 I'll spell next to it. And I will have to put Modern Warfare 3 next to it because honestly that's one of the like best ones. Not multiplayer rating campaign. So World at War is another, how you call it, a nostalgia factor for me probably, because that's the first and probably only, not only, the first Call of Duty game I played on an Xbox. And I did play multiplayer, maybe even probably for the first time with a real bought copy, because I had an Xbox, so I remember that was my first experience with the Xbox Live, which is also, that's also an experience to behold. And I have to say, I had a really good time with this. And yeah, that's the nostalgia thing. But yeah, I remember the single player was great in this game. I remember Reznov, right? And I remember, I still vaguely remember because I've played this single player a bunch of times. And I do remember, like, that was, again, at the time, man, that was something. Call of Duty was always good at pushing limits, man. Say whatever you want, it was always there. Almost always, I guess. Not every title was the best one, obviously, but for me, I remember this campaign as much as I remember, almost as much as I remember Modern Warfare, the original, and I have to say that was some hot shit. Like, yeah, that's just, I remember it nostalgically, but I do think it holds up. I would replace today. I don't feel like it, but I do think it holds up if you wanna play it. It's really good. Alright, Modern Warfare 2, I have to put it in here. It's not an S tier. I think a lot of people will say it's an S tier because that's the multiplayer aspect. I think multiplayer aspect it will be at S, yes. But for me, the single player just holds up the same way as Modern Warfare, as Call of Duty 4. Continuation of the story, and I think Modern Warfare as a trilogy, even the new ones, even the remakes, by the way, but the original ones are some of the best video game stories And I know a lot of people will say, well, that's bullshit, but that's just my opinion, man. I mean, if you hate it, if you don't like it, that's fine. But I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna argue with you about it. But I'm just saying, Modern Warfare will always be an A for me. Replayability, 100%. I can play that story any day. Black Ops. I wonder where to put that because I think that that's also a game I remember playing. I don't know if I played it on Xbox. I might have also played. Trying to think because I had a PS3 at some point and I've played Call of Duty on that too. This might have been the game I've played on Call of Duty. Oh, this might have been the game I played on my PlayStation 3 when I had that. It's like a long time ago. It's hard to remember this, but let's talk story, right? The story. I've actually recently replayed the story. Um, the story is super. Like I, you know what? Let's rate it first, and I will explain myself, right? So let's put it in the B. I will explain myself. So I think Black Ops is really good story. I do. My problem with this is that I think that at the time they haven't handled the entire, like, because Black Ops story is about the this mind fucking, right, this like Mason, remember the numbers, right, all these things. And I think the concept, the idea was superb. I think it was really great, but I don't think they have like driven it home quite as much. I think like somebody somewhere, the studio didn't quite want to deal with the theme. Maybe they thought like it's for kids. Let's not like push the limits, right, or anything like that. So yeah, in my opinion, Black Ops had potential, and I think when you played the first half of this story, it was actually closer to S tier than B. But overall, I think they just didn't like want to commit to some of the things that were happening, and maybe they just didn't think it through as much as they could have. So for me, it's a B just because I remember how the story ends and all these things. I remember, what are the numbers about and all these things. And it's just like, yeah, it's more boring than like at the first sight of it. When you learn what Black Ops is about as a story, it sounds very intriguing and unique, especially at the time when they were making it. But when you like go through the story, you'll realize what's the conclusion, what's it all about. It's surprisingly like more stale than you would think. So that's why it's B. It's just, again, my opinion. Modern Warfare 3, I have to put these all in the same bracket. Like I said, we are rating the story and not the multiplayer here. And as far as the story goes, the trilogy deserves an A in my opinion. So, moving on. Black Ops 2. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. You know what? Black Ops 2 could be an A. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think about it right now. Black Ops 2. I think I'm gonna have to put it into B. I don't know if this should be an A. I don't think so, but you know what? The only reason I want this game to have an A, honestly, is because of there is like one story choice. If that's Black Ops 2, I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't wanna like lie about it right now. Trying to recall if I remember this right. I think so, yeah. You know what? I'm going by memory. I don't want to look it up right now. So if I'm wrong on this, then you know what? I'm wrong. But in Black Ops 2, you continue the story of Black Ops 1, but you play as if I remember right, you play as the main character is the son of Mason's son, right? You are playing as the son of the main character in the first game. So already an L for me. That's already like a big downside. I don't like when stories do that. It makes, I guess, kind of sense timeline-wise. I get it, and I remember the story, and I don't know. I don't have a problem with it that much, but it's just, yeah, like I'm trying to think of a gentle way of putting this, but it just didn't land well with me. There is the main villain of the second game is like this guy that you know, like he gets his face shot off kinda. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good experience, but I'm gonna put it into B. I think that's a good place for it. Ghosts. I don't wanna go into rant, so I'm just put it there. Advanced Warfare. I can't put it into B and be like, that's not okay. Let's put it here. Advanced Warfare was not very good. And again, we are not rating multiplayer. If you just clapped with me here and be like, yeah, that's an F, what do you mean, a C? We are rating the story here, and the story is just... I honestly don't remember a lot of it. I remember enough to give it a C with clear conscience, but I can't tell you the story because I think I just forgot. I remember some of it. I remember this was the time when Activision thought, and I think if they went right about it, they could have had something. But they thought it was a good idea. It was like a fresh thing, right? To put these exoskeletons on the soldiers and make it like, oh, that's why they can do all these new things, which is a great idea. This is kinda, I think, what maybe inspired Titanfall later on, but or maybe I don't know if Titanfall weren't released before this game, so either one inspired the other, right? So like either it was one way or the other, but the idea of the exoskeletons was mainly for the multiplayer, and I think they wanted to justify its existence in the single player in the story. And it was, yeah, it was nothing special. I think I have a lot of respect for a lot of Call of Duty games, and you know, stories and just gameplay in general. This one was very much like just mediocrity, and I don't think it's like the story itself was worse than Black Ops. I would definitely say that. It wasn't, it's not necessarily that bad. Maybe after C we should have one more tier or something. I will think about that later. But you know what? Can we add? How do I add? Do I add? How can you add? Add or below. Okay, there you go. So let's put this like that. I think that's better. Can we put a different color here? Pink. Yeah, sure. Let's go with pink. So yeah, this is better. I think this is how it should be. Is E before F? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Wait, there's supposed to be a fucking D. I'm dumb. Yeah, wait. Okay, yeah. So D tier. There you go. I don't know. Brain fart. It's also almost midnight, so you will forgive me. So yeah, this is like, I think this sounds about right. Yeah, we didn't get an S tier yet. We are getting there. I think the things I will put into an S tier will a lot of people find controversial. That's fine. My opinion is not like a holy grail or anything. It's very personal opinion, and I will justify it the best way I can. Okay, moving on. Black Ops 2, I don't know if... That's Black Ops 3, I'm sorry. The picture is small, it looks like a 2. I don't know if I played this. Let me Google it, because I want to know if I remember it. I don't think I've played this, or maybe I played it for a little bit. Just like a little bit. I remember this kinda, but I don't think I finished it. Yeah, I haven't finished this, I think. Yeah, I will put it into didn't play just because I remember maybe like first 20 minutes of the game. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. This was the game that I've played the first maybe 10 minutes of it, and then I quickly realized that this game was meant to be either played in multiplayer or in co-op. It wasn't like fully fledged single player experience. And I hate when games do that, honestly. So I remember like quitting when I realized that, so I didn't actually play the story. So let's move on. Infinite Warfare, is that it? I think it is. Infinite Warfare. I will show you what I think about Infinite Warfare right now. Infinite Warfare is probably the best Call of Duty video game you can play right now. And I'm trying to think about how to do this because there's gonna be S tiers later. No, let's keep it like this. I can work with that. Alright, I will justify myself here right now. I don't know how well received is Infinite Warfare. This is Infinite Warfare, right? I think it is, yeah. I don't know how well received is this game. It's a... For me, I've never played this game until very, very late, like, I don't know. I stopped playing Call of Duty at some point, I don't know when exactly, maybe after Ghosts. I think I've stopped playing Call of Duty after Ghosts. That might have been actually the case. Which is so funny, because, you know, you've seen what I rated Ghosts, you will understand why I stopped playing the game. And if Infinite Warfare came out of after Ghosts, then that's probably why I didn't play it. Man, Infinite Warfare is like, I wish people talked about that game more. You know, I wish people talked about the game enough for me to notice it when it came out. This game is why I was briefly excited about multiplayer Call of Duty-like games in space. And the whole, you know, there is no up or down situation. I think that concept is completely unexplored in FPS gaming. Or maybe if there is a game that, you know, uses that, then it's, you know, not mainstream or not played a lot. This was the first game I've seen ever, and it was a story, you know, it was a single player, so I'm not saying it's in the multiplayer, although I didn't play the multiplayer, so maybe it is in the multiplayer, I don't know that, I'm just saying I don't think they did it. But I've played the story, and you have so many things in this Call of Duty game. There's so many things, and it's embarrassing that when you look, you know, around, when you look at all the other Call of Duty games on the list right now, none of them do like all the things this game does as right as this game does. This is a Call of Duty that is in the future, and you have the main villain, I guess, that is Jon Snow. I don't know what is his name. I almost had it. I almost remembered the actor's name, but I don't. And the story itself is pretty alright. I wouldn't say it's like crazy good or something like that, but I think it's pretty good. You have a robot companion that is actually like a good rating. Like, it's not like dumbass robot or anything like that. It's actually like decent writing, decent script, decent dialogue within the robot, which most games or most, you know, anything in entertainment, they don't usually get it right, and this game really does it like well, in my opinion. So that's one thing. You get to fly these jets, I guess, that kind of look like spaceships. I think they are kind of spaceships actually, and the flying in this game is really good. Like, it really feels nice. It's satisfying to fly these things in the game. There are a couple of missions where it's basically just that, just you flying it out. Like I said, there is there's the missions where you are in zero gravity, right? So like, you can center yourself, you can press like a button and be like, oh, this is actually how you're supposed to look, but you don't have to. and it's really cool to see because you are in space, so you actually don't like you can't tell, you don't see where is up, where is down because it doesn't exist. And it was really fun. It was really fun to play this game. Um, this game played out that like you have this. I remember this from Wolfenstein, for example. You have this map opened, and you can go to these different locations if you want to complete all the side quests, basically, which is like the first time I've seen Call of Duty game ever do like that. It's not like open world, but it's like, you know, it's like halfway there. Uh, and that was a lot of fun because it didn't, I don't think it had that much of an impact on like endings or anything like that or the story, but it was like really neat if you, hey, if you liked these missions with space jets, you can do more of them before ending the campaign. And that was great. It was just like, it was really fun. It was you know, just so different. It was unbelievable to me that this is a Call of Duty game. The gunplay itself and the story, the gunplay was pretty good. I don't think it was anything like super special from other Call of Duty games, but it definitely wasn't like subpar or like mediocre or anything like that. It was definitely really fun. Uh, like I said, the story was well written. There are some things, like I'm not gonna spoil or anything, but I'm just saying there are some things that are just like above. This story should have had its own trilogy. This story is better than the Modern Warfare trilogy and World at War. World at War is kind of like history lesson with added things, so I'm not gonna like, you know, that's like, that's history, that's like, not, you know, not a made up story, right? But like, Modern Warfare, I love this trilogy, and this fucking game is better. This game has better story in my opinion. I just only wish it has more of it because only by quantity, only by detail, Modern Warfare would still win that. But man, I wish they made more Infinite Warfare Call of Duties. Like, such an underrated game in my opinion, such an underrated title. I have not heard of the story or the game until I was like, oh, there is a game, there's a Call of Duty game I didn't play. Let me try it, right? And that was when I was trying out the Black Ops 3, and I didn't like that, so I didn't finish it. And then I was like, oh, Infinite Warfare, I don't know that either, and I played that one, and that was a keeper. It was really good. Okay, I think I talked long enough about this game. I just wanted to explain myself and my decision here. I think this one is just, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just this you should play this. You really should play this. You should play this if you don't like Call of Duty. I think if you don't like Call of Duty games, you will enjoy this game. So, World War II, I didn't play, and I would like to rate it. I'm not gonna, but I would like to rate it by saying this was just, you know, I think this was a game released after they made that remake of Modern Warfare. This one, right? I think they released this, and they made like a new engine for this game. So, they wanted something like to capture different audiences, right? Because they have made this game, which is this one, right? And after this came out, they made World at War, right? Which is, I don't know if that's first World War or the second World War. I think it's the second one, but I'm not sure. So, you know, because Activision is enabled to fucking think, they just said, let's remake this game as well in our new engine. So that's this. And I didn't play it because I'm not interested in your second takes. I think I've played it a little bit. I didn't finish it. Now I'm thinking about it. I think I remember a scene where you are on a, I hope that's this game. I'm pretty sure. Like you're in a train and the train crashes and it's like this bombastic cutscene that is not very plausible to happen, you know, Call of Duty style. So I remember a little bit of it. I'm still gonna put it in here because it's this kind of same situation as with this one. It's like I didn't actually play it, I didn't finish it, and yeah, I was a little bit bored with it too. So, but yeah, this is basically just like, hey, let's remake this game quietly, right? So, nothing to cry about, I think. Uh, Black Ops 4 doesn't have single player, which sucks because I've very thoroughly enjoyed the multiplayer. I've played a lot of multiplayer in this game. I liked the idea, which I'm sure they just stole from Overwatch, but you know, you had these different classes. This was like the one and only time in Call of Duty multiplayer where you had classes, actual classes. I have so many fucking videos on my other channel with so many different montages. I used to make these montage videos of Call of Duty, right? And I've played Black Ops 4 so much, man, so much. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I will be able to remember this and link it in the description of this video. Maybe if I don't know. Maybe you know what? If you honestly want to watch these things, you will find it. It's not that hard. But yeah, I've played a lot of multiplayer. I've enjoyed it a lot. Um, but it doesn't have a single player, so that kind of sucks for me. But there's nothing else to talk about. Okay, we are going into the more present day. I don't know what this is, by the way. Oh, that's the remaster. I didn't play this either. I just put it here. That's the remastered Call of Duty 4, so nothing to talk about. Doesn't have a story. Don't know this. Warzone doesn't have a story. I don't know this either. What the fuck is this? Yeah, I don't know this either. Vanguard. Dude, isn't Vanguard? Fuck me, what is Vanguard? Because that's not this. Just put it here, I don't wanna fucking know. These I don't think are worth fucking mention. Like, I've played Warzone 2 a lot. If you are on this channel, you know that. But I'm talking, you know, single player. So these games are just, you know, vacuum for me. Okay, we have last 3 Call of Duties to rate, and they are the ones that I think will be in the upper levels of this chart. So, Cold War. Cold War I have to give an A. I would like to give it an S, but it's barely not there. Why is Cold War so good? Cold War is so good because it explored things that I think Activision should be doing more with their video games, because they are very focused on the multiplayer aspects. And you know what, if you like Call of Duty multiplayer, then that's why they are making these games, so you are doing it right. But I do think a lot of people enjoy playing the single player games, and this was one of the first Call of Duties that I've played in a while that really like made the single player experience worth $70, because I've bought this game, recently played it, and this game is genuinely fun to play as a single player. It has actual its own worth. I don't know if it was worth $70. I would say it's definitely a AAA $60 single player video game, which is more than you can say about a lot of Call of Duty games. But 70, it's pushing it. You are paying half the price for the multiplayer, so I get it. But yeah, there's like Cold War is basically about a Cold War, right? I don't know who you fight anymore. Probably Russians, right? Who else are you gonna fight when you're an American? Probably Russians. And because Cold War is about espionage, right? And you work with CIA, all these things, and you're like in the 80s, I think, or something like that. And just very interesting overall. You create your own character, and like, this is the single player type of game that you can and want to probably replay a lot. You want to replay like a few times, because at the start of the game you get to create your character, and this character, they ask you, or like, it's like a mental profiling, right? And you're like, are you like impulsive, are you professional, all these questions, and these actually correspond to different perks you get throughout the campaign, throughout the game. And that I found is like that's very unique. That's like you are actually like going out of your, you know, comfort zone, trying out new things. So I always applaud that, especially when AAA studios do it. This one was a lot of fun. There are some puzzles in this game, by the way, that cannot be like, you know, you can't look up the answers because they are generated by the game. So every player has a different solution to the puzzles, which is on one hand super cool, and on the other hand, I have to say that was the most annoying single player Call of Duty experience I had, because I had to actually figure out the answers on my own. Even though there's like tutorials how to do it, it was still annoying. So if you're in for just like the cutscenes and just the story, and you don't want to fuck with puzzles for like 2 hours, like me, then this is gonna be a little bit annoying. So maybe that's why it's in the A, honestly. I've spent a lot of time doing puzzles I didn't want to do. But it was funny because they have really gone out of their way to make sure you don't cheat on these puzzles, even though it's a single player, who cares? But they care. So, you know, in a way, that gives them a lot of credibility, and I have to say that that's admirable in a way. So, that's Cold War. Definitely recommending to play that. Where do we land with this? Last two things. Where do we land with this? I want to say they are both S tiers. I've played... I would give this an A, but I will put it here anyway. Modern Warfare Remake was like... it was fun. It was a lot of... again, this is the games. Cold War, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare, probably Vanguard, right? World War 2. I think those are the games, you know, when we don't count things like Warzone and stuff. Those are the games that are made in the new engine. So, this was the first one they have made, I think, with that new engine. And it shows, because the multiplayer, the gameplay is a lot like Battlefield, which is what they were going for, right? And I have to say, man, like, that game transformed a lot for me, because I don't remember the gameplay being like so smooth in a way, and also the engine for some reason made the game harder to play. I enjoyed thoroughly this one, but I will say I've enjoyed this one much more. I've enjoyed Modern Warfare 2 single player much more than this one, equally as this one. So I would actually do this probably, but I will put it in here anyway. I said I will, so this is the final tier list right here. And yeah, these two games are definitely worth playing. I think a lot of people probably hate on them, you know, because like they are remaking the story, but they are actually like, they are not copy pasting the story. They are actually making new things up. They are basically just using the character names, but they are like altering the road. It's like a different universe type of situation. So I definitely enjoy the Modern Warfare 2. I've enjoyed that you get these different dialogue options. There's actual dialogue you can choose as your own character in the game, and that's definitely a breath of fresh air for me, because that Call of Duty I have never had that before. There's tiny details in the single player of these games, especially this one, that you would just have to play to understand what I mean, but basically a lot of effort went into this one and this one as well, that I think was surprisingly like worth the price tag, because I think a lot of people just think, oh, they're just reusing old stuff, not making anything new, and making me pay 70 bucks for it. I would disagree. I think there's a lot of effort in it that people like to ignore just to hate on it. So, in my opinion, these games are great. They are very, very good, and on par with the best Battlefield games, for example. Right, yeah, so I guess this is my tier list. I'm happy with it. I definitely don't regret what I'm saying here. All of these games I don't think I would put any other game but Ghosts into an F tier, which is interesting. Yeah. Trying to think, because I just said that I'm not gonna rate these games, these two I think, because I didn't finish the story and I don't remember this one either. I'm just gonna keep it like that, so just I have a D tier. Alright, yeah, so this is it. This is what I think about the Call of Duty franchise. I don't know if this is gonna be any kind of interesting topic for anybody watching it, but if you did find it for some reason enjoyable, or agreed with it, and want to see more, then leave a comment maybe and tell me that, or just like the video, and we'll see in the next time in the future. Maybe I will do a tier list of something else. So yeah, see you later.